Evening. On behalf of HMA, I, Geeta Mallikarjunan, COO, extends a warm welcome to our Joint Secretary, Mr. Chandrasekhar. Our convener, MSME, Mr. Rajendra Krishna Prasad Reddy, and our speaker and HMA member, Mr. Devendra Reddy, founder and CEO, eRide, who will talk on the topic Future of Mobility, EVs and Beyond. I welcome all present on this platform as well as those watching us live. It is my pleasure to request our treasurer, Mr. Jeevan Naidu, to take this session forward.
Good evening to one and all. Thank you, Geeta ji. And I would like to welcome you all on behalf of our President Kavita Rajesh ji, Vice President Ramchandra ji, and Ravi Kumar ji, and Secretary, who couldn't make today to the meeting. So I would like to briefly tell everyone once again about Hyderabad Management Association. This is an association which started 56 years ago in 1964, and it's been dedicated towards developing managerial skills among young executives and spreading the message of professionalism among the practicing managers with the involvement of academia and industry. So there are many activities, as all of you would be aware, like lecture meetings, training programs, panel discussions, seminars, conventions, quiz programs, management development programs, faculty development programs, and a lot of certification programs. And other than that, the Hyderabad Management Association is affiliated to the All India Management Association, IMA Delhi, and there are a lot of joint programs which are conducted. Then there is the flagship HMA Awards function, as all of you are aware that it's quite a prestigious award function. And in October 2020, the Industry Readiness Program was also started for students. 2 sessions have been successfully conducted where a lot of management students could get an opportunity to get a little bit of industry readiness into their life. And other than that, this year there is also an international desk and social impact desk which has come into the HMA fold. So with this short brief, I request our convener for MSME, Mr. Rajendra Krishna Prasad, to kindly take it forward.
Right. Thank you, Naidu Garu. Respected our HMA Treasurer, Sri Jayant Naidu Garu, our HMA Joint Secretary, Sri Kuchi Chandrasekhar Garu, and our chief guest today, our guest speaker, Sri Devendra Reddy Garu, and HMA esteemed friends and colleagues. Warm good evenings to all. It's my honor and privilege to introduce as a convener of HMA MSc committee, Mr. Devendra Reddy Garu, who is giving a webinar of today evening on future mobility and EVs and beyond. Devendra Garu is an attitude, sales, and professional with over 2 decades of experience with enterprises such as Xerox, Metro Cash, and Carry, Godrej Go Boys, and Lexmark. A passionate environmentist, a ride for him is a commercial as well as the social enterprise. Hello? Arrayed as the distinction of having secured the largest electrical vehicles order from Telangana State Government Department for about 200 units for Vijaya Dairy mobile escort parlors. Devendra is a evangelist of the EV and a public speaker at universities and business web portals nationally. Promoting adoption of EV, that is electrical vehicles, is an avid reader, enjoys playing cricket and watching movies. Sorry. Sir, welcome you, sir. Now the mic is yours.
Thank you,
hello,
sir.
Devendra Reddy Garu? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes. Thanks for that introduction. And I request ma'am to permit me to share the screen. Enable me to start sharing the screen.
Karthik will do that. Karthik? Can you make him a co-host, please?
And meanwhile, sir, if possible, you can just remind our members in WhatsApp groups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Karthik,
Person you have called is speaking to someone else.
So meanwhile, I'll just try
Called
to.
is speaking to someone else. You can wait or call again later. మీరు కాల్ చేస్తున్న వ్యక్తి మరొక కాల్లో బిజీగా ఉన్నారు. మీరు వేచి ఉండండి లేదా తిరిగి మళ్ళీ. Person you are speaking with has put your call.
Hello.
Karthik, please make him a co-host.
Yes.
I'm going on calling. Everyone is calling you actually. Karthik is coming. Sorry.
Is this in presentation mode? Hello.
Yeah,
Now
it's
it
fine.
is in the presentation
Okay,
mode.
okay. Fine. So thank you, sir. Thanks for giving this opportunity to take you through this presentation on EVs and beyond. We'll be touch basing on EVs in India, the journey, how the evolution has happened, or the revolution is happening, and the global trends in EV industry and the generic trends also. So as you already introduced us, Ravi Chandra Chadha sir and Shravan Madhav both are our mentors for our organization. And why EV and India has come is that we are part of unfortunately, around 14 cities in India are being listed as highly polluted cities across the country out of 20. And we have signed a Paris Summit Climate Pact, and we are a signatory of this pact, wherein we have agreed that we have reduced the carbon emissions, and by 2030, we'll be adapting 30% of EVs. And we'll be doing this for both green end-to-end emission kind of thing. And then what is the objective? It is not only that we'll be reducing the carbon emissions. Hello.
Yeah. We are hearing, sir.
We will not only be able to reduce 37% of emission, but also we'll be able to save 1/3 of our imports. And as a leader, we have agreed for it. Today, if you see, what is the imperative is that, if suppose if you are going for EVs, as most of you have this, most of the people are having this myth that if you shift to EVs, we are currently dependent on the conventional fuel and we are just replacing one with another kind of things. But it's just a myth. If you're going for 10 million EVs, it is only 3.2% of the electricity which is being generated. And also, India is going for, as per Paris Summit Climate Pact, we are going for a renewable energy. By 2030, we'll be having a energy, and we are taking this target of renewable energy in a phased manner, and India is progressing towards that one. In fact, in terms of achieving those numbers, I can say globally, we are in a very good position in terms of renewable energy.
Okay.
And Government of India, through the FAME discount, has earmarked 10,000 crores for enablement or for giving incentives to the customers who are going for electric vehicles. It can be 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, or 4-wheelers, or also for the buses for public transportation. And we'll be seeing the charging stations in the cities as well as on the outskirts or on the highways for every 25 kilometers as per the FAME policy. And a couple of years ago, Government of India has even reduced the GST on this one. Across the country, I can say almost all the states have started adapting or coming out with their own EV policies in line with central government's FAME policy. Or some of them are piggybacking, and some of them are giving additional incentives beyond this FAME policy. And this is homologation is a mandatory for the vehicles, whether it's an A4 or whether it's a two-wheeler or three-wheelers or four-wheelers or buses, anything. It's a mandatory for any vehicle which comes out on the road, on the street, it has to go through the homologation process. And that is a very important part. And most of the students, most of the entrepreneurs who comes to me, they'll come with a product which is not as per the standards, and will be guiding them the importance and relevance of a homologation process. And at homologation, whether it's NICAT at Haryana or ARA at Pune, it is done at vehicle level as well as at the component level. Now, what is there for us if we adapt for EVs? It's a huge business which is lying if we start going towards EV. It's just not on the vehicles part, but also in terms of R&D, in terms of manufacturing, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of IoT software, in terms of battery components, whole lot of things, entire ecosystem, we are going to see a huge revenue which is there. And India is poised, and it is going to be likely the second largest EV market in the world, not only in terms of consumption, but also in terms of export for low and two and three wheelers market. And this is the tipping point. We were expecting that, by 2022, two-wheelers will be picking up by 2021. It's already people are talking. It's a very good point is that across the country, there is a narrative. People at their homes, workplaces are started discussing on electric vehicles. Couple of years ago, 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, we used to start pushing electric vehicles as a story to end customer and different applications. But today I can say that we are there nearby reaching those tipping points. In India, if you see, out of 30% are scooters and 70% are motorcycles. And we roll out every year on year, 25 million vehicles, which consume 67% of fuel. And very few people are aware that this is also consuming a lot of or emitting a lot of CO2. And again, if you look at two-wheelers, the trends in EV is that we are seeing the low-end products have been sold earlier, but now with amendment in FAME 2 discount, we are going to see the adoption or buying of vehicles which are coming with mid-speed as well as high-end speed. And the vehicles which are with low speed are being primarily adapted by students and housewives for short distance, where TCO was coming for 15 to 20 paise. And primarily these vehicles are successful. Or in India, we are seeing that EV revolution, because with two and three wheelers, for the primary reason, they can be charged at their respective homes. So there is no charging barrier for two and three wheelers. There's a reason we are seeing a lot of two and three wheelers unit placements in the country. But however, prior to FAME 2 discount, we saw a lot of challenges in terms of prices on a battery replacement as well as a new battery. And that's the reason central government as recently 2 months ago have then reduced or made amendment in FAME 2, which reduced the price of the high-end vehicles. Now coming to three-wheelers platform, we have seen that, in urban areas, almost 56% of people are using three-wheelers. And in rural areas, it's similar thing, around 38% of people are using on commuting in autos. So in India, three-wheelers plays a major role in first mile and last mile connectivity. First mile is starting from your home. Last mile is that using your metro or your bus as a transit and then getting down to your respective office or workplace, that is called last mile. So if you see in the northern states like Delhi and other parts, these have played very big role. And we can say that number of people who have commuted is equal or similar to the number of people who have commuted in these transit vehicles. And these are again, why these are popular. First reason, this can be charged at home. Second thing is that various state governments have played a big role in deploying these vehicles in smart city, as well as for livelihood projects also. So these are the different parts, how these vehicles have moved as a storytelling, as an application for different vehicles. We are sold for garbage, we are sold for vegetables, and we are sold for different applications. And one of the success stories of E-Ride is that this has been sold as we are the first company to back the first bulk order from government of Telangana for 200 vehicles of Vijay Dairy. And this is being deployed through bank loans as a livelihood project, and it has been successfully running, where TCO is also favoring the people for that the person who have been taking these vehicles. and they have got the ROI within 8 to 10 months on these vehicles. Now coming to the L5 category or the urban logistics part, these Amigo vehicle or these kind of vehicles you'll be seeing on the roads. These are powered by swappable lithium-ion batteries, and these vehicles are ideal for last mile connectivity. In India, most of the state governments, if you see recently Maharashtra or Delhi government, which has come with their EV policy, they have given about, they have made it mandate that next to 2 to 3 years, the entire fleet or of e-commerce companies has to be shifted towards EVs. The low-hanging fruits for government of India for conversion of vehicles or adoption of EVs is the logistics companies and the employee transportation by the corporates. These are some of the low-hanging fruits apart from the livelihood projects. So why logistics companies are going towards EVs? First and foremost thing is that they can save 38%. These calculations are before the hike in petrol prices, because today customers who are adapting to EVs, whether it's two-wheelers or three-wheelers, they are in trouble mode or pain mode, and hence they are coming towards an adoption of EVs. And we can easily see that 40% of their OPEX costs can be saved by adapting to EVs. And these vehicles are powered with telematics or an IoT software, which will enable a person who is sitting at a remote place can see what is the distance between traveled by the vehicle is beyond track and trace, what is the battery life till end. So all this information he can gather, and this can be customized software as per based on the fleet manager, fleet operator. We can customize these softwares, and we're also giving a flavor as a free of cost to entry level customers on particularly on the delivery vehicles. And if you look at the trends, by next couple of years, we are seeing by 2025, there will be a lot of, or the EV adoption will be happening in India, again with two-wheelers and three-wheelers. These are low-hanging fruits, as I said repeatedly. And passenger cars, historically, we are very low on numbers, but however, we are seeing a lot of announcements coming in passenger cars. And e-buses also we are seeing OPEX model. OPEX means on a rental basis kind of things, where respective state governments are giving on lease for the running of this fleet to the private players. And coming to four-wheelers, India is a Makkah of passenger cars. I repeat, India is Makkah of passenger cars, where average price is 5 to 6 lakhs rupees on cost of the vehicle, and we are more on a passenger centric. I'll repeat, we are more on passenger centric rather than driver centric vehicles. And recently, or prior to the EV talk or prior to pandemic, our Indian automakers has invested huge money on BS migration from BS4 to BS6, and then we have started hearing about the EVs across the globe. And now, as I said, as per BCG, there are 450 models which are going to come up by 2025. I repeat, around 450 models from different OEMs, both hybrid as well as complete battery operated BEV and hybrid vehicles. The biggest challenge in or the adoption of four-wheelers in India is that fundamentally the pricing, upfront pricing is one of the things, because we use low entry-level vehicles. And India has many Indias. It's just not that, we are talking about the average price at which it's been sold. There are different people. In India, actually, a vehicle is being treated as an aspiration product or arrival of a status. That's what we have been seeing. But coming to EVs, the four-wheeler EVs, TCO is not working as of now. And also biggest challenge is that, the charging infrastructure, and it will take some time for us to reach there. But however, Government of India through EESL is planning for a charging across the country on highways. And Telangana government also, we have 153 charging stations approval as per FAME 2. And I said one of the biggest barrier was that our players were not ready, because they have made huge investment in transition to BS6. And about 3,300 crores has been earmarked by Government of India as per FAME 2 for adoption of buses as a public transportation. And we have seen in urban areas also, still now, 43% of people are using buses as mode of transportation. And this is working beautifully. EVs are working, where we have the route has been already planned. You don't have the charging challenge with these buses, because from where to where you need to reach, as the route is already planned for buses. Now coming to the global level, what's happening is that we are moving from linear and carbon intensive to circular and carbon neutral society. I'll repeat, from linear and carbon intensive society, we are shifting towards a circular and carbon neutral society. And this is what been emerging across the globe, where we are trying to inch towards carbon neutrality by 2050. And the social trend is that, we are seeing that, people are moving forward in terms of aging, and we are seeing rapid urbanization across the globe and global warming. Apart from the technology of IoT and big data, these things are pushing customers to address mobility in terms, when we are talking about EV mobility, we are just not trying to replace the existing ICE engines with EV, but across the globe, a lot of discussions and solutions are trying to come up where EV will be addressed as a mass, that is mobility as service. As we have seen in India, prior to pandemic, millions were not trying to own an asset, and they were trying to use the services of shared mobility, whether it's an Ola, Uber, whatever it is there. So this trend is going to come up post pandemic, because we need to work out a solution which can reduce the traffic congestion on cities, and we can because rapid urbanization is happening across the globe. And again, repeat, EV journey, we have a lot of, because today EVs are almost like 50% been bundled with IoT softwares. So these all are connected softwares, and I don't want to touch on the autonomous vehicles, because we are not ready as of now for autonomous vehicles, the level 5 autonomous vehicle at least. So moving forward, we'll be seeing mass in a big way in a country like India also, and we'll be seeing adoption of 2, 3 or 4-wheeler will be happening more in terms of mass, that is mobility as service. Now coming to charging infra, it's chicken and egg story kind of things. You have more charging infra, you have more confidence by the user to buy these vehicles. But one thing what we are seeing shift is that from a centralized way of taking fuel at one place, we'll be getting in freedom to charge the vehicles at our homes or working place. I'll repeat, rather than going to a centralized place or outside to a petrol bunk, we'll be getting a option of charging our vehicles or EVs at our homes, at our workplace. And this is going to be a big shift in terms of attitude, or a big shift in terms of mindset of the people, when they should start feeling that they need not go to a fuel station for charging of the vehicle. This is for intra-city, I can say this for intra-city transportation or intra-city movement. Then we have destination charging, and also we have en route charging. So for this, Government of India recently has approved the EV charging policy, and there's been protocol has been established. And again, the criteria or the shift is towards more on home level charging as well as workplace charging. And there are central government departments. The biggest challenge for EV charging, I said that as I briefed earlier, it is on a real estate cost, and Government of India treating this, we need to bring in actually discounts to one standard agreement where we can be viable, and it can be given as an option in various malls, various public places, because charging will be happening at its own. We can be doing our own work, like the mobile phone, it will be charging and it will be doing our own work. So there are certain barriers currently for EV charging, which has to be addressed by the stakeholders, whether it's a central government or state government, and we need to bring in discounts to play a big role. And one of the other reason for swapping of batteries is that OEMs also has different standard of batteries, and where a lot of players across the globe, and particularly I can say in Japan, 5 major players have come forward to put a standard on the batteries in terms of dimensions, in terms of the standards, in terms of capabilities, so that it will allow for swapping of batteries. So this is the biggest move where we are going to see in EV industry. Unlike that ICE engines, there will be a lot of cooperation and collaboration among the players to bring in the shift of the mindset of the users, and also to make it really a successful one going forward. And one of the trend what we are seeing in EV industry is that renewable that is the people who are into energy sector, primarily into renewable energy, they are getting into EV space, whether it's a cell battery production or whether it's in a creating charging infrastructure. So these people are getting into the space of EV in India. So charging stations also going to come, and for battery swapping also, as I said earlier, 153 charging stations are going to happen for Telangana state. And for battery swapping also, we have the law of the land that has to be cleared, and so that a lot of youngsters or the new entrepreneurs can come and start this EV battery swapping station also. And coming to battery life cycle, this is a battery life cycle, and one of the reason why has been kept here is that to do the comparisons on lead acid versus lithium ion batteries. Today we are talking on lithium ion batteries, and there is a lot of work which is happening on earth abundant metals. But however, in India today we have seen success of e-3-wheelers mostly because they've been used on lead acid batteries, and it has been trusted and proven technology in third world country like India, where 98% of 3-wheelers across the country are on lead acid batteries. The only primary challenge what we see is that after the using, it is getting into junkyard. But however, a lot of people or entrepreneurs are coming to regenerate, to make it again applicable even on lead acid batteries. So this is a typical life cycle of a battery. And coming to cell manufacturing, unfortunately, we are importing these cells. There is no doubt on this one. There are many players which is coming forward, and recently one of the biggest player has come forward, made a big announcement using that central government scheme of performance link incentives, PLI scheme. So that all these announcements, if they come into picture, if they come into reality, if they come into commercial usage, we'll be seeing 50% reduction in the cost of these batteries in the countries. So these are some of the names which has already made announcements. Their work is in progress, and if this happens, execution starts happening, we'll be seeing 50% reduction in batteries, and also it will imply that there will be reduction in the cost of the vehicles. And as I repeatedly saying that, there is a huge opportunity not only for electric vehicle manufacture but also for the entire ecosystems. Entire ecosystem, it can be your battery manufacturer, it can be your fleet operator, it can be your component manufacturer, or it can be India is known as an IT hub, or India is known for IT services. We can get into IoT software. Today we are seeing EV is almost like computer on wheels kind of thing, and connected vehicles are coming. It's a huge opportunity for industry which we can jump and take our pie on this one. So this is my call. It's a short presentation. Trust I was able to touch base the different aspect of the EV industry.
Yeah. I think you covered almost everything in a very brief manner, sir. Excellent it is. But we have some small questions. I think there's not much to ask as such because you covered almost all points.
Please, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So the technology of manufacturing the electrical vehicle is totally indigenous so far, or we have to still transfer the technology from other countries?
Sir, I'll just tell you the history of how EV journey happened in India. In about 2015, we used to directly import all the products directly from China, particularly 3-wheelers.
China.
But then it has been, as we are evolving, a lot of R&D is happening, a lot of work in progress is happening. Today, recently, where we have reached almost up to 80% of indigenous using of these components. But unfortunately, the major component of cells, as a brief view, they're coming from China only. And Government of India and respective state governments, even Telangana government, is trying to bring in these resources from Bolivian countries and different parts of the globe, because we have entered very late into this industry. We have entered late after seeing success of different countries. We have entered very late, that too after signing the Paris Summit Climate Pact. And however, Association of Indian Automobile Industry, we are planning that the next 5 years we'll be not only having their own components, but also will be in an export manner of these EVs. Okay, a lot of work is happening, sir. Work is still in progress to have 100% on this one.
I think already Tata is entered into this line. Who we expect in future, like Maruti, Hyundai, all these people will enter into this?
Yeah, that's what, sir. Announcements have been made. Once it comes into execution and commercial application, then we'll be seeing the results of those things.
When you can tentatively expect, sir, the total changeover from IC engine based automobiles to electrical vehicle?
It will not happen like that, sir. It is not that EV is going to replace the ICE engine. That's the reason I've briefed about MaaS also, mobility as service.
Okay.
See,
Yeah.
Government of India is also not saying that we'll just replace that ICE engines with EV. It is not going to happen like that. No, they're saying 30% of entire fleet will be your EVs. Okay, it can be
Okay.
2 and 4-wheelers. And the low hanging fruits are today 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers. For 4-wheelers, you need to create the infrastructure. So there's a reason to pick up those low hanging fruits. There was an amendment in FAME scheme where the price has been reduced and the objective was to bring on par with ICE engines.
Okay.
Maybe it will be 2040 something we'll be having, but everybody will be coexisting.
Yeah.
They'll be coexisting. Like for example, I'll quote, I'm from a B2B sales guy. We have seen retail happening. Then we have seen modern trade happening. We have seen e-commerce has come. So everybody is coexisting, including your Kirana stores. Same way, EVs and ICE engines, still I can say 2030 or beyond that also they'll be coexisting. But there will be one time where EVs will take it forward or leap forward beyond ICE engines. So it is not going to happen, but it's going to happen in a phase manner.
Yeah. But do you recommend how the road structure, road infrastructure, sir? Right now, you're focusing more on smart cities or urbanization. But India has a lot of rural villages and a lot of these things. Right now, these vehicles are going on IC engines, irrespective of what may be the road condition. If you see the rainy season and all, the roads are quite horrible as well. In this type of condition, any design changes towards Indian circumstances to be modified or any to be done in this EV missions, sir? EV vehicles?
Sir, it has been, as I said, we have just entered this game. India as a whole, and work is in progress on R&D part. And today we are trying to, like people who are into component industry, when I'm speaking in terms of industry, they're trying to bring in a motor which can be in a water, but still it will be able to perform its job. Okay. So there are a lot of learnings from the mistakes or failures what has happened. But as we are doing the R&D today, we are seeing, like a startup, we have association with Academy in around Hyderabad. Same way, your IIT Chennai, they are coming up with the indigenous components, and knowing these challenges, we are coming with these vehicles. But it is going to take some time if we are talking about 4-wheelers, but 2-wheelers, we are already there. 2-wheelers, as I said, we have brief. We have low-end products which cost about 50,000, where you can take a detachable battery to your home and charge it. Okay, that will be addressing that 5 to 10 kilometers of radius, which is about 37% of our market share in the country. And also you have aspirational vehicles. You have aspirational vehicles like your iPhone is an aspiration. So you have aspiration 2-wheelers, which is going to address all these things. Yeah, it's going to take time. We are able to handle those challenges, but the price point is higher than related to ICE engines currently.
Okay. How about this cargo-based services, the trucks and then public services like buses and all? Will they have any change? When you expect the total transformation as such? And it's already buses have been started partially, but in total.
So as I said again, sir, it is not going to happen like that. You know what? For example, as I said, we are moving from a linear economy towards a circular economy. Okay. So when I'm saying circular economy, how we are going to use them? So here the retrofitting of the buses will come into picture. Okay. Currently, if you are seeing the buses have been able to handle, and we are seeing the deployment of the buses, that's the reason 30% of FAME2 has been earmarked for a public transportation. That's the reason we are seeing the fleets across country in various states for the buses which are running under OPEX model. Okay, it is going to take time. For cargo vehicles, already government of Maharashtra, government of Delhi, or respective state governments they gave the guidelines or the directives to these e-commerce players to shift towards EVs. Okay, next 3 years we'll be seeing that they'll be shifting towards EVs. Again, under OPEX model, they're going to be shifted.
Do you, for exporting, any standards are there, sir, for like these electrical vehicles, like automobiles, we have 2-4 standards as such, Like this, we have any other standards are already established, or we have what type of standards you got to follow, ISI for this thing?
So
manufacturing.
Same thing, sir. All the vehicles which are coming with ICAT approval. In fact, we have seen, people who are doing projects, people who are running this show, or who are already into business, ICAT is a standard which has been approved or accepted in our SAARC nations or nearby countries, and
Okay.
even in your African nations, because this has a very highest standard of homologation process.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
please.
I think what is the global trend, sir, in this particular vehicle? Because now America, Tesla is doing it, and other countries like can you share about Japan and European countries and all about this electrical vehicles trend?
Sir, if you see in abroad, they are moving faster. They are much ahead of us because those are matured economies, and people are also relatively they're environment lovers. Okay, and again, like you are naming certain companies, they are customer-centric products. They are driver-centric products. It is not like India where I'll try to buy 7-seater, though my family will move only once in a quarter or twice in a quarter, but still I'll take care of everybody and try to go with the 7-seater vehicle only.
Okay.
Okay, this is the mindset of Indians. Okay, we say that we need to take everybody along with us, but we can just plan for a rental vehicle on that particular day and use a small vehicle. We don't think like that. So in terms of thought process, also entirely different. It is going to take a long time because charging. If you look at European nations, they have made it mandatory for any new house construction, like in UK. You need to come with home chargers.
Hello. Sir, we have one question from chat box. I'll just go through that. This is from Shankar Venkata Krishna Prasad Garande. We find silent cars nowadays also helping reduction of sound pollution. Now here we move on from EVs to alternative source of energy eventually. How long you think would EVs hold? This one, sir. And also whatever happened to so-called biofuels, ethanol, etc.
Sir, I think I've already addressed this one. As I'm saying that everything will be coexisting. It will not be replacement or switching over from ICE to EV overnight.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the hurdles for like setting up a EV industry in India, sir? Like could you share, and what should be the minimum capital we should start manufacturing going for this type of EV missions?
Sir, in fact, today there is a huge opportunity to jump into EV industry, just not for manufacturing the vehicles, but also there are a lot of gaps in terms of components, in terms of cell manufacturing, in terms of your IoT softwares. Youngsters can get into those kind of places. But however, as you asked me, the barriers of entering into this industry has been reduced relatively what we had earlier with ICE engines.
Yeah.
The entry barrier will be reduced.
What type of innovation you can expect in this? Like a lot of IoTs we are explaining right now already in this one, you can keep it up a lot of instrumentation part of it. And the self-drive vehicles also you can expect in this EV vehicles easily compared to the ICE engines. Because ICE engines require a lot of gear changing, other things, little complications is there. With IoT, I think we can go for self-driven. I'm only focusing in customer-based car and even in the factories also, in the material handling.
Yeah, internal loaders, it is going to happen, where we'll be seeing that, driverless vehicle coming in internal environment kind of things, which can call it as off-the-road vehicles. Okay, recently in Tokyo Games, we have seen autonomous vehicle dropping the athletes. Okay, this is for internal loaders we can see, but however on the roads, it's too early to comment because India needs to find its own way of moving to EVs. We cannot just say that we'll be ready for autonomous level 5 because we are still a third world country where other day I was passing from my factory, I was in the car and the guy was ahead of me. He was speaking on a phone, and he was using a right hand to raise a bike, and he has just lifted his leg to show to me that he's going towards right side.
Oh my God!
How will autonomous vehicle will capture this one? I just stopped and started laughing at it.
Okay.
There are certain points. India is far away to reach them. It is going to take a lot of time. And for these autonomous vehicles or for the cargo carriers, what you asked, we may need a dedicated roads or paths to use them, because they'll all be connected vehicles, and we need a charging for them also for a long drives. Yes, sir.
Sir, you supplied already 200 vehicles to Vijay Dairy and all. How the drivers and other things they adjusted with the taking over this particular vehicle compared to other things? They find it very comfortable and all. Very.
No, initially we had challenges because it was successfully in driver come owner kind of thing. So that's the reason we have seen three-wheeler success mostly for driver come owner. But however, today the shift is happening to fleet management, where e-commerce companies are coming for OPEX model. So these are all L5 categories, okay, where it will be on par with your normal ICE engine vehicles in terms of speed, in terms of, you name it, everything, in terms of payloads also, but it will be giving a better driving experience. So the N3 vehicles are used for last mile connectivity, you know, last mile deliveries for a payload of 360 kgs kind of things.
Sir, we have one question from chat box. Shivram Tekuga is asking for challenges for charging and the charging points, which you already mentioned it. Probably he is looking for what are the challenges.
So, first and foremost thing, these we have seen revolution or what is happening in India is on 2 and 3 wheelers, because primarily they can be charged at your home. Same way, we need to get a shift in the mindset of the consumer that your 4-wheeler also can be charged at home.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the gated communities will playing big role in this one. Okay, and then the DISCOMs or the electricity departments, they need to come forward for giving this kind of subsidy, because now the biggest challenge is that the DISCOMs or the electricity department, they are saying that we are giving subsidy for home appliances like TVs and fridges, not for charging. So they also need to come forward for this one. You know, there are many things in this one, sir. There are many things which are bundled. But however, if you look at the number of E4-wheelers which have been booked for one of the biggest brand, they all are from Hyderabad, because they are all CXOs who has this charging. They don't have the charging challenge because they can charge at home in their gated community or at their corporate office. Okay. That's the reason. So, as I discussed during presentation also, we need to see more or 70%, 80% charging at home or charging at workplace. For public places, as I already discussed, we have a challenge in terms of real estate cost, because average time when a vehicle is going to stand for charging in a public space, on a public charging place, is around 90 minutes, 75 to 90 minutes. There's going to be big real estate cost that has to be counted. So it's going to take a long time. But however, on the national highways, today ESL is coming forward for charging stations on the highways. And we'll reach those points, we'll be addressing, sir. As we are moving ahead, you know, Rome was not built in a day, but every day.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
As we all are aware that Rome was not built in a day, but every day. So we have these challenges, we need to overcome them, and we need to move for cleaner and greener mobility.
You're right. Sir, you already mentioned Japan is already doing that exercise about the standardized 5 types of batteries with the size and standardization about some sort of a dimensions, another part. If it's going to come, I think it can be easy, probably. Along with that, they will supply charging missions also, something. So
Yeah. See, that is what it is going to happen. Once you standardize, if the big OEMs come forward and they standardize the dimensions, standardize the battery capabilities and technical specifications, it will be easy for swapping stations. And I can say that Government of India has taken a big lead where they've allowed the registration of vehicles without the batteries to enable the charging stations. Or the battery swapping.
If anyone want to go, because you mentioned about 4 kilometers, government may go for charging stations, each 4 kilometers the distance as such, you know, in a long time travel. If anyone want to go for an entrepreneurship in this particular line, and they want to have a mission and they have a charging instead of petrol bunker, if we want to go for that, like what should be the cost and other things we will this thing, sir, for setting up a small charging unit? Any idea?
That is a public charging space, sir. Because, actually, you know, we have challenge in that one as of now. because it is going to cost real estate, and government of India is saying what you are seeing it along with the metro stations, that is not as per the FAME discount or as per the FAME guidelines. Okay, this is going to have a huge cost because government of India standards the charges, and they're saying we should have 7 to 8 charging points. So that is going to take time. That's the reason they are taking the lease stations part through EESL. They are putting on the public, the government of India owned petrol bunks. You are going to see these charging stations. Okay, the youngsters can go for charging stations at like hotels, or because they're going to play a big role, hotels, residential associations, or your workplaces. These are the places which they can go for charging stations.
Yeah, you mentioned about the cost should be 5 to 6 lakhs. I think for the public to process it as it, this general passenger cost. Will it come right now, sir, to the range of it? Or it takes some more time?
50% of the cost in this is going towards battery. Maybe after 3 to 4 years, it is going to happen. May not be 6 lakhs, maybe around 8 lakhs kind of things going to happen. Once you see a decrease in the batteries, we can go, we'll be having these things.
But we can keep finding a lot of innovations in this particular line, if I'm right, because it is happening now.
It is happening, sir. Today we are discussing, you'll be after 1 hour, you'll be seeing an announcement from OEM that they are going to bring XYZ brand model with the so-and-so charge, so-and-so range and all this stuff. So a lot of work is happening across the globe, and India is taking lead in R&D.
Yeah.
Today you name the university, you name the college, youngsters are getting to this space and they're doing a lot of work in this space.
I think, thank you, Reddy Garu. I think you've given a very, very in detailed discussion on this particular topic, and then your presentation is excellent. I think if anyone interested, they can contact you, and you can share your email address as well as mobile number. You can chat back. I think our HME can pass it on to them, and they pass it on their any queries or inquiries to you. Now, I request Mr. Kuchi Chandrasekhar Garu to make a formal vote of thanks, I
I think we are closing very before time. It is already just 7:21, and good evening, Rajendra Garu, another MC members, Krishna Prasad Garu, and other members who are present. And let me congratulate Devendra Reddy Garu. Really, I've gone through your profile only just today morning. At this young age, I put it that way, you are still youth compared to all of us who are sitting here. Okay, and the way you're taking it forward as something in a way totally different from the traditional one, this EV. Is a hats off to you. I think let me congratulate, and you should take it forward, not just stopping alone in terms of your quantity, volumes, other things. And what we touched upon some of the points excellent is, and mainly this new word, homologation process is very important, number one. The second one you brought out is something called MaaS, that is shared mobility, which we have not heard before, mainly these 2-3 terms which I have used. And mainly what you said is, it calls for a total paradigm shift now. Should we think in the same traditional way, and change is inevitable, Devendra Reddy Garu. Nobody can stop it. Change is inevitable. People have to go for a change management. How long, like take the example of your automobile industry prior to 1991 and what it is today. Totally, was different thanks to the then Prime Minister P. Narasimha Rao along with his team, Manmohan Singh. What a transformation in terms of automobile industry. Similarly, in fact, though the government has just given only 10,000 crores as a subsidy, it is very tiny. Because if you look at in the future, the value and the liability of Forex vis-a-vis this EV we are talking about today, there is a drastic reduction is going to be in the Forex alone, since you are importing a lot of fuels from other countries, which are doling out at the current rates and the dollar rates. And if government of India can support and give more subsidy, and let people not look at just subsidy alone, let us look at, as rightly mentioned, is a greener and a cleaner. Like e-ride, you're already riding, in fact, e-ride. E, environment, E, energy, E, eco-friendly. Everything now current generation, we have to coin it. This is a era, E era.
Yeah.
Yeah, E era, it's an E era, totally. Whether you call it e-commerce or environment, eco-friendly or anything you call it, is a E era now starting in this 2020 onwards. And renewable energy, in fact, that's another thing. If you look at some of the models of renewable energy, okay, one is what we call it in the Gujarat, what they have planned it, they put that on the canals alone without wasting the land or anything. And renewable energy is going to play a major role. Just have a dog. Like we don't have a power in the house which is on the generator. Okay, Rediger, switch on the generator. In the main, on the highways, when you don't have the power, can I have a generator standby can charge the vehicle? Because generator produces power. If the vehicle, when you are going on a highway, and if there is an issue of power electricity problem, still we are to this one. Can the government think of, or a service provider, can I think of it keeping generator in terms of a, electricity failure, and can generate electricity, I can charge with that?
I cannot comment on that one, sir, but I can tell you one thing.
Okay.
These EVs, particularly four-wheelers, what you are talking, what we are assuming that we are going on highway, it comes with own telematics where it will tell you after 20 kilometers you're having this EV charging station.
Okay.
So it will give you that alert.
Yeah.
With IoT.
Okay.
With
So
IoT.
that, and then second thing is that we are trying to shift towards a cleaner and end-to-end clean energy.
Okay.
And these charging stations on the highways will be having these solar panels and all these kind of things, renewable energy kind of things.
Okay, okay, great. This is what, and it is going to really help the nation community in terms of your COT emissions, bringing down COT emissions, which is a major concern if you really look at some of the cities like Delhi, including Hyderabad also falling under that. We don't get the clean air. And what is going to be the health of the future, people of the future. And in fact, the insights what you are given and your journey, EV journey over a period of time, really, in fact, your presentation should emulate the youth. And we are really looking for something on the entrepreneurship or a startup or something like that. I think one of the excellent sessions. It is highly informative. And one of the things what you said is lithium versus this one. I think even Namar Raja also, that is the reason they are moving to Chennai to start a new plant, if I'm correct. Though they have, because there's some issues in AP, they are moving to Chennai to start a new plant on this. And lot of potential first. Whether we talk about India is a bit slow on this, definitely is not slow, it's progressing at a slow pace. You're not really jumping. And one of the other thing what you said is the employment opportunity, creating employment opportunities many, because there are a lot of ancillary industries will come up to support the EV industry. And really, I thank one of the best presentation, Devendra Reddy Garu. Thanks for sparing your time and giving an opportunity to listen to you. And though you are a HME life member, we have taken and make it more lively. A life member made it session more lively. That is more important. Thanks, everybody, and thanks Krishna Prasad Garu, both Krishna Prasad Garu, Rajendra and Krishna Prasad Garu, and Rajalakshmi Garu, and everybody, and Jayant Rai Garu. Thanks a lot. It's an excellent session, and I think maybe you need to, sir, how to propagate this. Not that you should give a publicity. I'm not talking about that. There are many, EVs, electrical vehicles coming up in Hyderabad, also like mushrooms. But how to really, sustain their quality, the futuristic thing. That is more important in this industry because it still is in a newborn baby. Yet to nurture. It calls for a lot of nurturing. It calls for a lot of research. I worked in automobile industry, and generally the research which focuses more, they also go for reverse engineering. Reverse engineering very common in many industries, and especially in automobile industry. And you tell me, do you also get into this kind of reverse engineering of the best vehicles across the globe? Or it is your own design or your own innovation or your own creation?
Sir, in fact, as you are already worked in this industry, there is nothing like we do not do the reverse engineering and all the things, but what we try to pick up and address is a problem area and try to solve those things. Okay. For example, as I'm an evangelist for entrepreneurship also, as we're talking to students also, there are a lot of things have already been innovated. There is no need to reinvent the wheel, but you can do a lot of improvisation on the product available in the market.
Correct.
So we need to spend time on improvising the products rather than going and reinventing the wheel or going for the reverse engineering kind of things. But however, we'll try to take this point also. Let us see how it's going to work for us also.
Okay. Once again, I mean, on behalf of HMA, would like to convey our sincere thanks to you for giving us a lot of inputs and insights into the entire EV industry. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Trust I was able to take you through this EV industry and the global trends also.
Like your Japanese concept, sir, that the Japanese concepts, when they lost everything, there are only 3 I's for them. Imitate, improve, innovate. The 3 I's of Japanese industry when they lost everything in the war. We call it, would like to, Jay Mantrani Garu, would like to close it now?
Yeah, we can just close, and I would also like to recognize the presence of Renuka Sagarji, our convener for MDP committee, and our past president Nagesh Vishwanathamji is also here. So,
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
So I think it was a really good session. So I request convener Rajendra Krishna Prasad ji to, and I think there's a poll also which has been put up. Maybe we request all participants to kindly.
Sir, this is not a poll, it's a feedback.
It's a feedback. So request to give a feedback. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Devendra Reddy Garu. Well done.
Yeah, Shankar Prasad garu. Okay, right.
That EVs really took me off as a EVM.
Devendra Garu, you should place this in the YouTube and then the Hyderabad Management Association website. This will propagate and will give a very good outlook to those people who have missed it. Some of those who have missed it have missed a lot.
Definitely, we'll do that.
Sir, can I answer? There is one question which I can answer. Ayazuddin has asked one question. Yeah, Ayazuddin.
Like, dear sir, in terms of ease of driving and safety, can the EVs beat the conventional vehicles and driving speed wise?
Yes, sir, we are already there. It has been proven not only in India but across the globe. It is already proven. The challenge is on the range, the challenge is on the payload kind of stuff, but it has been addressed in terms of safety. That's the reason I think he has missed on the he has missed on that homologation part, because if homologation is not done, no vehicle can be on the road.
Okay. And if racing, if the EV vehicle races, you can expect in future.
It has been done, sir. Mahindra has bought a product.
Oh,
there is an exclusive EV racing, and they brought this product. Mahindra has already brought it.
They can get into F16.
yeah.
Can they get into F16?
Fine, sir. Thanks. I think I've addressed questions. So I was able to answer these queries. And if anything is there, they can reach me out on personal number. I've already shared in the chat box.
Thanks, sir.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. So, can we leave, sir?
Yeah. Wait.
Karthik, please.
Devendra Gariki ధన్యవాదములు.
Sir, thanks, sir.
Nagesh Vishwanathan garu.
Yeah. I need to meet all of you personally, sir. Fine, sir. Then we'll take it. Okay.
Sir, Ryan, sir.
Yeah.
Can I end the meeting, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.